about?
Well, I mean, out the gate, we're gonna let it be known. Like you saw what happened with Anthony Edwards and LeBron James and the Timberwolves and the Lakers. I mean, they blew out the Lakers 117-95, and Ant didn't even go off. He just had 20-something points. And me, when it comes to playoff basketball, this is what I love about playoff basketball. I don't give a fuck who your name is, and I don't care what your namesake is. Playoff basketball is like NFL playoffs. The game slows down, and now it's about X's and O's, and it's about your role players, and it's about how your role players play. To me, when I look at the Timberwolves from top to down, 15 squad, they got better role players than the Los Angeles Lakers. And to me, losing Anthony Davis, a defensive monster, a guy who controls the paint, a guy who really was the reason why LeBron James was even able to win a bubble title in Los Angeles, getting rid of somebody like that who's instrumental and crucial to the playoffs to then get a one-sided offensive kind of guy who now the NBA tells us that if a guy only plays on one side, he's considered quote unquote great. They've reduced great to just one side of the basketball. I knew the Lakers were in trouble when that was about to happen because at the end of the day, you're losing defense, which defense wins championships. Like the great Dennis Rodman said, offense gets the glory, but defense wins championships. So you're losing the defensive element of winning championships just so that you can get the offensive glory. But I want y'all take on that, man. Like, how do y'all see this series playing out? Because Shannon Sharp was like, "Oh, Lakers in 5." Now, Cat done caught his damn tongue because the Minnesota Timberwolves slapped the Lakers with a 1-0 lead.
Well, I mean, it's all hype, man. Just like how Charles Barkley was pretty much saying they only on ESPN they only follow one team, and they like to promote one team on that network. When it comes to basketball, it's the Lakers.
Right.
And LeBron James, you already know they got a bunch of LeBron Brigade nights on that network. That's pretty much bigging up for their boy, and they want their boy to do well all the time. You know what I'm saying? And now after this Luka trade, you know how it is. The sexy names. It's the Lakers. Now they have Luka. They just traded AD for Luka. They supposed to win, right? Because now they have LeBron. Luka just came from. Am I on?
Yeah, you hear?
Okay.
You're lagging.
All right. It said connection dropped. That's why I was like, what happened? All right. But it said
Yeah, it was
lagging.
lagging.
Okay. It said Luka just came from a finals appearance, but that Mavericks team was actually built around Luka. They had defenders on that team. They had the bigs on that team, and likely and that other center, that dude that he liked to throw lobs to. But this team, the Lakers, they gave up, AD for Luka. They have no bigs. They have a big called Jackson Hayes, but he doesn't compare to Anthony Davis. He doesn't control the paint like AD did. And after them, they pretty much have no big. They're trying to run a small ball lineup where they pretty much pack the paint. But they have multiple players out there that can't even guard their own shadows. When you get them in the one-on-one ISO situations, you could pretty much, it's over with. And Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, these guys, they were literally hunting both those two to get them on switches. Lakers, I don't know what JJ Redick is gonna do. He can't do anything about that situation. He's just gonna have to hope that the referees bail them out. Because if you were paying attention to the officiating, Lakers had 21 free throws. Minnesota only had 4 free throws. That's telling. If Minnesota
and they still
lost because they shot the hell out of they shot the hell out of the basketball, but it wasn't by coincidence. They were open. When you get those type of open looks because Lakers defense is porous, you're gonna hit those shots. Nas Reed, that guy is a decent 3-point shooter. He shoots it at a 37% clip. Julius Randle can make open 3-point shots.
That's a great free throw.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards didn't even play well. His field goal percentages was down. He even went out of the game at a point because I think he cramped up. But then when he came back, he went to work. But I liked how he played in this game because he saw that his teammates were doing what they were supposed to do. They were hitting their shots, and he didn't want to mess up that flow. So he just continued to play himself as a decoy, penetrate and kick. And make sure those guys were getting their confidence up. And that's all they need. At some point, we expect Anthony Edwards to go off. He probably gonna go off in this game coming up tomorrow on Tuesday, but he's gonna continue to allow his teammates to continue to thrive in this series because that's what's going to get them past this Laker team. You know, as long as those guys are doing well, they shouldn't. I believe the Lakers have no shot because their defense is not good. They don't have the bigs to affect Rudy Gobert or Naz Reid or Julius Randle. And Minnesota have the athletic players. They have the defenders that can really put their imprint on this series. And Jaden McDaniels, that guy, he scored 25 points. That dude was huge in that first game, man. He locked up Luka at some point. He was able to give Austin Reeves issues. Even Julius Randle. LeBron must think he guarding Aaron Gordon. Julius Randle ain't no scrub. You leave that boy open, that boy gonna pay. He's a knockdown 3-point shooter. And he's gonna, you already know, he takes it as a challenge. He's not just because Bron is in his face, man. Like, this dude is 40 years old. I ain't gonna let no 40-year-old dude outwork me on the court. Like, dudes, I don't get, like, some players, I don't get some players. It's like whenever they match up against LeBron, they get intimidated and they let him outplay them. But there's certain dudes in the game. Even Aaron Gordon last year on Denver, he's one of those dudes. He don't take nothing from LeBron. He's not gonna back down. I like those players that play like that. They don't back down. LeBron, you know, that's why LeBron scored 19 points. He don't got the energy to keep up with Julius Randle. He don't. When he hates playing against those type of players because he knows those guys are gonna make him work. And at his age, he's not going to be able to keep up. It's going to affect his offense. You know, LeBron wants to be able to go out there and drop, his 30 points or his 28 points, his 8 assists, 9 rebounds or whatever. But him playing against Aaron Gordon, you saw Aaron Gordon last year, the last 2 years when they played against Denver, Aaron Gordon affected LeBron's output because Aaron Gordon is one of those dudes, LeBron can't cheat on him. Because Aaron Gordon be cutting to the basket. Luka is an incredible passer. He sees what Aaron Gordon is doing. Aaron Gordon is not just gonna stay on the side and just watch. That boy gonna cut to the basket. Right. He's a smart player, and LeBron don't like that. LeBron try to cheat on defense. Same thing with Julius Randle. He gonna be right there. He gonna play off of Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards gonna draw in the defensive detention. And Julius Randle gonna cut, or he's gonna make sure they're gonna do the pick and pop, and Julius Randle gonna be right there ready to hit that open shot. That's all they gotta keep doing.
I believe the Lakers are in trouble, man. It's one thing if you lose a close nail biter. And it's one thing you lose a close nail biter when one of your players didn't show up, or you didn't get the benefit of the whistle. They got the benefit of the whistle. The opposing team's player didn't really go crazy. Had like a standard, kind of a subpar game for his standard, and you still lose like that. That's telling, man. That's telling. Can somebody look at the rebounds? The difference between the rebounding? Because if you're getting out rebounded too, on top of that, because bro, you got to win something. You know what I mean? Like you got to be in playoff basketball, real basketball. It comes down to effort. It don't come down to crossovers. It don't come down to miraculous plays. It comes down to effort. Who's getting to the loose balls? Who's getting to the rebounds? You know what I'm saying? You're getting to the line via the ref, and you're not cashing them in. Because that lets me know they ain't hit many free throws. What was their percentage of the free throws? You got to the line 21 times and you still lost like that, and they only went to the line. You said 4 times in the whole game.
That's very
bro. That's telling, man. Here's the thing: Luka Doncic and LeBron James never made sense to play with each other. Number one.
Yep.
They're both ball dominant.
Both the same player.
Just like I told people, Russell Westbrook and LeBron James wasn't going to play good together. They were like, "Wow, they're true ball dominant," and neither one of them are knockdown shooters. They both need the ball in hand. They both play for stats first.
Yep.
When you have a team like that, no glue guys, everyone's trying to get their stats. It's not going to work. The Bulls work because you had a point forward. You had Michael Jordan, who could score and facilitate.
Yep.
You had Dennis Rodman, who could score but didn't care about scoring. He just wanted to rebound the ball. You know what I'm saying? And then you had Ron Harper that was there for defensive purposes and to cut to the hole and be a slasher and to keep the defense honest. And they all were big and tall. They all could rebound. They all could play defense. That's why they worked. It was so dominant. Because the basic fundamentals of basketball was covered all the way around the board.
You're talking about synergistic basketball.
These guys, right? These guys, their team as assembled doesn't work for championship level basketball. And when you think about it, what the Lakers are saying and what people aren't picking up, they're saying that with this trade with Luka, they're saying that they don't believe LeBron could get it done. They're bringing Luka over to help carry LeBron to the championship. When they don't realize Luka isn't even the reason why they went to the finals. It was Kyrie.
Yep.
Exactly.
It was Luka and Kyrie together. Kyrie hit all them big ass shots down the stretch.
Exactly.
That matters. Those buckets where we gotta score right now. Luka don't hit those type buckets.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that finals and why they lost. It's because Luka started reading into the media, and Luka got into his head that he was supposed to be scoring more than Kyrie Irving. He didn't just take if he would have just took the Scottie Pippen route, that series would have been a different look with Kyrie going off in the clutch. But no, Luka was trying to take games on his back, shooting them out of games. I saw the series instead of letting Kyrie close.
Yep. All of a sudden, y'all got here because you did your thing in the first 2 or 3 quarters, and while Kyrie facilitated in the last quarter, Kyrie said, "I got it from here, boss." And he's he's carrying the load in the fourth quarter because he has the better skill set. Now all of a sudden, you're taking all these little guys. You already 3 feet behind the 3-point line. You're taking because now they give them like 3 steps off the step back, right? You're taking like 3 more steps. It's a travel, really. It's really a travel what they do. So you're already 3 feet behind. Then you take a boom. You're 6 feet behind the 3-point line, and you're not like that. And his windup is slow, so people are all over him by the time he releases the ball. He doesn't have a quick release. He doesn't shoot that way. His windup is very slow. Like,
that's
bro,
what
what
makes
are you
Curry
doing?
dangerous. Curry got that quick release.
Penetrate to the basket and get the ball out to Kyrie, or else get the ball out to somebody that can swing into Kyrie. And Kyrie's cash when he's wide open for a three. Or if you're smart, you just get out of Kyrie's way and let him decipher what he's gonna do with an open court.
I used to say razzle dazzle with Kyrie's game. I call it boogie down promotion. When that dude gets to the dribbling, it's a whole production, man.
Yeah. What he did was he put a LeBron James. Except for LeBron James, he throws games, but he don't shoot because LeBron James cares more about his field goal percentage.
Well, we know who's the original. We know who's the original, and you brought it out, Ross. Who's the original? That ain't even LeBron that created that. It was Shaq. Shaq created throwing games because of the fact that he didn't want to be outdone.
Yeah, but they all had it. They all had a style of how they throw games.
Mm-hmm.
How LeBron throws games, he just disappears. He's on the court, but he's not trying to get. Notice when he's trying when he's not getting the when he's not getting the attention he wants, and somebody else got 30, 40, and they might be the player of the game. LeBron James just goes to the corner. He goes to the corner. And he's not doing anything. He's just standing.
Yeah,
there.
he act like he can't play basketball.
All of a sudden, he can't play. He don't know how to cut. He don't know how to do anything. He just moves himself all the way out the way, but he's out there. And then if the team happens to come back, but then too, next you know, LeBron James wants to get the rock. Like, yeah, ball.
I'm glad you brought that up because what LeBron revealed is that mentality that me, you, and Richie Rich have seen on the basketball court, any sport element, right? It's that element of most people being that way. When they don't get their way, they pout, and then they just stop all of a sudden. They just don't want to do anything anymore. And I feel like LeBron is like the most popular public spokesperson to that style. Because a lot of people do that shit. If they're not participating, they're not getting their way, they do this grown childish thing where they just pout and they say, you know what? I'm just not going to be involved at all. Fuck it.
Shaq does it.
Mm-hmm.
He stops playing defense and then he fouls himself out so he could get out the game. That way he can say, man, I fouled out. But really, come on, man. All these fouls he does are so obvious.
Yep.
He'll get them back to back that he'll foul out. And then somehow the Lakers still win because Kobe will carry him. Then he'd be like, Kobe's the greatest. He'd really be mad. He don't want to say that shit. He's like, yeah, Kobe's the greatest. Yeah, I didn't think we were going to win this game. I fouled out. Kobe got it done.
And he used to do that a lot. The free throw line. Let's be honest. He didn't want to shoot those free throws. He was scared to shoot those.
He did.
Because he didn't want to blame. The reason why they couldn't win is because he couldn't shoot fucking free throws. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, that was a huge crutch. They left chips on the table, man. They left chips on the table with bad free throw shooting.
That's just laziness because, listen, he said it himself, man. I don't believe in staying in shape. I get in shape when the season starts. All right, cool. That's fine. That's not fine. But if you're going to do that, do that. But if you're not going to work out, that's one thing. You can still go to that free throw line and shoot 2-3 hours a day. There's no reason why he went a whole career and never got to at least a 65, 70% from the free throw line. He was always like around 50.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't care.
He improved in that area.
Well, I mean, Kareem,
that's why I tell people, man.
And then one day he woke up and told Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, fuck it, I'm not coming no more. That's what he did.
Man, I tell people all the time. Shaq got a lot of credit because the East Coast was very weak.
Yep.
But the Lakers got to the finals despite Shaq. A lot of times, not because of him, man. Against the Western Conference, Shaq was a liability, man. Yeah. He couldn't guard nobody.
No one. Tim Duncan treated him like a redheaded stepchild. I mean, Kobe carried them. To me, the finals was round 1 to round 3. Those were the real finals. And then when they got to the finals felt like the first round of the playoff. That's how I felt.
The finals was a formality of the person, whoever won the Western Conference final was going to be, and Kobe was always that best player. Whoever won the Western Conference final, that was the person who was going to get coronated. Yep. The actual finals was a formality because they had to do this shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, the finals was already determined against the Spurs, against Sacramento. You know what I mean? Like, and who was the man?
Kobe had guys like Doug Christie on him. Doug Christie was a hell of a defender. He had guys like Ruben Patterson on him. That Kobe had to go through some shit. That Western Conference, that shit was a motherfucker, man. Those years against, when Steve Nash and them and the Suns were starting to come up, Tony Parker, Kobe having to deal with Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili in their primes. People just don't understand what was dealing with. That damn Western Conference was nothing to play with.
There were some lethal teams in that conference, man.
Yeah.
And that's why people always wonder why the West always beat the East in Kobe years in the NBA All-Star game. They used to blow out the East. Every Kobe team that played in the West blew out every East team. And I knew they used to stung with LeBron James in them. But that's because the Western Conference was way harder than the East.
Except for one. That one when they had Stephon Marbury and Iverson in the backcourt. They won that one. But they won off a game winning shot. And guess who they had to come together like Captain Planet niggas. Kobe. Kobe was killing their ass in the fourth quarter. They had our powers combined. They had to come together against Kobe.
Yeah, Dave, you notice LeBron. This is what LeBron did. He threw that low key dig when Kobe retired and said, "Well, now All-Star games, guys don't have to go as hard, guys don't have to play as rough." But the reason why the All-Star game was so fun and so challenging is because of the competitive element. That's why people tuned in, because the dunk contest was starting to get worse and worse and worse. 3-point shooting, nobody was paying attention to that. People wanted to see the highlights in the actual All-Star game and see how that would pan out, especially those years when Kobe was getting towards the end. Kobe was really ramping up with the competitiveness, locking LeBron James up, blocking him up, ripping him up. Motherfuckers was talking about that shit for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks after the All-Star game. And then he retires in 2016, and then it comes shit after that. No competition.
I'm glad D-Wade finally admitted. I know. Did y'all see that podcast a few months ago? Well, it was about a month and a half ago. D-Wade admitted, man, why them boys teamed up. Him, Wade, and Bosh.
Yeah.
It was because of Kobe.
Yeah, bro. I think that part.
They was getting tired of that boy winning them chips, man. D-Wade said, "Nah, Kobe done won 5. I'm sick."
Yeah.
He said, "Dog, I got 1, dog. This man getting chips, man. We need to stop this. We need to stop." He had a talk with LeBron. I'm like, I can't believe D-Wade is admitting this, dog. Normally these dudes would not admit this stuff, but Kobe's no longer.
And the crazy thing is,
hey, he's
the crazy is,
if Kobe's still alive, he probably wouldn't admit it. I know how D-Wade is. He wouldn't admit that. It's because Kobe's no longer with us, so he could let it off. He could let it off his back. I was shocked. I was like, bro, now we get the real reason why. Them boys was getting tired of them chips. Kobe just won his 5th chip.
You know what you also confirmed? You know what you also confirmed? You also confirmed that David Stern blocked that Chris Paul trade for that reason. That's really what D-Wade confirmed.
Exactly. They were ushering their time. That's what David Stern was doing. We all know what politics go on with the NBA.
Right. And the crazy thing about that is they wasn't even in the way of. They didn't stop Kobe from doing nothing. Dirk Nowitzki and OKC.
Exactly.
I'm still not convinced. They would have beat the Lakers. I'm not. Because all you gotta do is because Kobe would have made LeBron James force LeBron James to carry them offensively. Yep. And LeBron James can't carry no team.
It would have to be Kobe and D-Wade going at it. That's what it had to be.
Right. They would have forced LeBron James to have. Because think about it, Ron Artest could guard either LeBron James if you feel like it. So could Kobe, and we know Kobe.
They would have put Ron Artest on LeBron James for 3 quarters. They would have had Kobe on him on the 4th, and Kobe would have been on Wade. Like the way they have it set up, and Chris Bosh would have had his hands full because it would have been him and Gasol. They canceled each other out.
Yeah.
And they ain't had nobody down low for Bosh and Bynum. Yep. Not Bosh, but Bynum and Gasol.
Odom coming off the bench.
And they would have been a bad mismatch for them. And I swear,
and with the Chris Paul trade, that would have been the nullifier. Chris Paul would have been the one to kill them because they would have had no answer for Chris Paul.
Oh yeah. Chris Paul would have made a foregone conclusion. But I think even without Chris Paul, the way Miami, especially that first time when they went to the finals, and D-Wade was a better player, so LeBron James he checked out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Without Chris Paul, it's Lakers in 6, and if the NBA want to push politics, Lakers in 7. With Chris Paul, 5, Lakers in 5.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That goes to show you right there. the NBA needs to get rid of LeBron. As long as LeBron's in the league, people aren't going to play competitive. As long as he's starting and a real factor in the league, they're not going to be competitive. The main players are going to LeBron. Because let's be honest, these people are followers. The reason why they're in the NBA is because they did well on those. They did well on those interviews. Those interviews are the test of submissiveness. That's what even the toughest nigga in the NBA right now is still a submissive person compared to me, you, and your brother.
Facts.
They're not tough like that. That's why they go on the court and posture. Behind closed doors, these white boys is broads. You know what I mean? Like as far as mentality, these little guys tell them what to do like they're children, for real. So these guys don't have that mental fortitude. That's why they had to get rid of the Kobe's and the Michael Jordans out the league. They had to get them out of here. They no longer wanted black men to be like that. They wanted LeBron James to be the focal point.
But isn't it crazy, Ross, when they try to eliminate, isn't it crazy, Ross, when they try to eliminate that ideology? That ideology is so dominant that you still can't, because look at guys like Shai-Gilgeous Alexander, guys like Anthony Edwards. They have the mentality. You try to eliminate it, but the mentality still finds a way to fester in. Because SGA or OKC, when they ask him who's his top three, he says it's Kobe 1, Jordan 2, Bron 3. When they ask Anthony Edwards says KD is my favorite player of all time, but Jordan and Kobe are the GOATs. So you try to push those guys out, that mentality out, but that mentality always finds a way to fester back in.
It's always going to be in. It didn't totally leave, but they don't focus on those guys.
Yeah, they're not.
You notice they don't focus on them. Think about it. They don't focus on Kyrie Irving.
Yep.
As great as he is.
Yep.
Because Kyrie didn't do well on those exams.
Yep.
He didn't do well on interviews, but they needed his talent. He was still so good. They had to let him in because they knew they were going to make money off him. They don't want him in the league.
I owe Kyrie an apology.
They don't want Kyrie.
I owe Kyrie an apology.
They didn't want Derrick. They didn't want Derrick Rose in the league.
I owe Kyrie an apology because last year he showed me why Kobe invested in him, man, because he brought up Luka Doncic's stock. Luka just didn't let him boogie. If Luka would have just allowed him to get into boogie down promotion, I'm not convinced the Celtics win that series. The Celtics only won that series because Luka basically took the ball away from Kyrie because Kyrie was unstoppable in that series. It's just Luka said, you know what, fuck this. I don't want you to get the attention, so I'm going to start forcing. Because I saw that coming, like, yeah, Richard, remember we were talking about, like, what the fuck is Luka doing? Why is he forcing the basketball? Kyrie's killing these guys in the fourth quarter. There's a reason why that series took 7 fucking games. Kyrie was killing these motherfuckers, man. And then Luka forces the hand, and then they end up losing. When in actuality, the Celtics should have lost that series if Kyrie goes off. Because the coaching was great. Jason Kidd was doing his thing from a coaching standpoint. Kyrie was playing his role the way he was supposed to. It's Luka that started acting out of character. Let's be honest.
Why you think Luka gone right now?
Yeah.
You think they ain't noticed? You think they ain't peeped that? They peeped that. And they was like, bro, what people don't understand is Mark Cuban, he doesn't operate like the rest of the owners. The rest of the owners, they had that mentality too. That not only do they want to win, they want certain people to get the credit for the win.
Well, now
isn't like that?
Mark Cuban is no longer the majority owner. He sold his shares, majority shares. He's like, I think he's part owner.
That may be true, but how many? I feel like he still has a voice. He probably. Well, I feel like as far as basketball, he probably can't pull the trigger like he used to. Put a trigger on shit, but you're right. You know what? I don't know who made that decision, but whoever made that decision, they peaked game.
Yeah, it was.
Because think about it.
The DuPonts. That's the new owners.
Yeah. Whoever made that decision, they peaked game. It was like, hold on, bro, just jagged us. He just smoked a finals because he wanted to be on top. We ain't fucking with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we ain't messing with that. The average owner.
Actually,
they think like that too.
Let me just quickly interject. Both of y'all right. Ross is right in this sense, and then Richie Rich is right. Richie Rich is right that Mark Cuban sold the majority. But this is what they did. They still gave Mark Cuban majority say. So you guys are both right. And Mark Cuban has released a statement today saying that although he wasn't ready to part with Luka, he understood why business-wise it made sense to part with him. So I think there was discussions behind the scenes on getting rid of Luka for the long haul because they saw that Luka wasn't going to be dirt. And Mark Cuban has already been quoted saying that Luka is not Dirk Nowitzki. There's never been another Dirk Nowitzki on the Mavericks. They thought Luka was going to be that, but Luka ultimately was not Dirk Nowitzki. You can't replace Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk Nowitzki is irreplaceable. And yes, he's right. Since Larry Bird, Dirk is that other white dude when you think about it, because he can say he's beaten Kobe Bryant in a series and beat LeBron James in a series, and that shit is legitimate.
Dirk plays to win.
I'm telling you.
Some of these guys play for their stats and their reputation first. And if they can win and get all that first and win, it's a plus. If they can't, they will check out. That mentality is big in the NBA right now. These guys are worried about who's going to get the credit. It's like they're in 7th grade.
I'm telling you.
Like
Luka was about to. He was eligible for a supermax contract where he was going to be paid north of $70 million, $75 million. He was going to be given a contract for 5 years, $350 million. I'm telling you, you're going to see in the next few years, there's going to be a lot of player movement because owners are hesitant to give players that type of money, man, because if they don't think that type of player is worth that type of loot, they're going to let that player, they're going to try to trade that player, or they're going to let that player walk or try to, because, SGA, he's going to be eligible to make that kind of money after this season. I believe OKC going to pay him that money because he's shown, okay, he's consistent. He's about to be the MVP. He might have an opportunity to bring that team to the finals this year. And if they play Boston, they're going to give Boston a run for their money. Right. OKC, they're a deep team, and they got a great player as their leader. But we'll see what happens. But we're going to see in the next few years, these contracts keep ballooning up. You're going to see some of these owners, man, they're going to make tough decisions, just like this Dallas situation. Because Luka was eligible to make $70 million. And they was like, man, they looked at it. Nico Harrison, the GM, he was like, man, after what we done seen in the finals, nah, we ain't trying to pay him that. Hell no. Because he's gonna be taking
flag, right? But you said he was getting a flag, but you said they possibly could get a KD situation going on. I wanted you to harp on that.
Oh yeah, KD's gonna be available because they've been talking about it. They're saying that he's gonna be working on a trade with Phoenix. They already tried to trade KD a few months ago, but KD didn't want to be traded to Golden State at the time. He said he didn't want to go back there, but he said that Dallas, he's interested in Dallas, Houston, Miami, who else? Any team that could be a contender. And Dallas, looking at their situation, they're going to try to pull the trigger because they want to win the title. They want to show that, especially the GM, Nico Harrison, he wants to show that he could win a title after he made that, because he's getting criticized for that Luka trade. People are asking for his head. People are saying he should be fired. So that guy is going to be is going to make another splash. I could see KD on that Dallas Mavericks team because they have.
He was right.
KD, Kyrie, and Anthony Davis. Damn, hell yeah. Why not? Shit.
I would like to see that.
And the thing about KD is KD don't need the ball in his hands to be effective.
Nope.
Yeah.
He's effective with the ball or without the ball.
That's why I love it.
Because if he spot up, if he's your spot up shooting guy, you're a shot up. Because he's gonna hit. He is wide open threes at their free throw.
That's why I like him and Kyrie.
If he wide up,
man. Their game was perfect for each other.
Yep. That's crazy. But I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. Going back to Luka. Luka's problem is he's not in shape, bro. He's never in shape.
He's one fat white boy, man.
He's never in shape. He's your fat friend that could ball,
Yeah.
but would be so much better if he got in shape. Just look at Larry Bird, bro. Larry Bird was never a swole guy, but he was always fit.
Yeah, he was always lean.
He was always fit. He was always wiry. He was always lively. Yep. Luka be slugging up and down the court, man. And he has no energy. He don't cut. He don't do nothing besides ask for the ball. You know what I mean? Put the play on his hip, penetrate, and lift the pass. Lift the pass. Like, bro, they would really call a 3-second violation that they're supposed to. Luka would get a lot of 3-second violation calls.
Luka's a foul baby.
He just be sitting.
He a foul baby.
He just be sitting in the paint doing like this. Like, bro, do something with the ball.
You could tell some of the players who are lazy. Luka's a foul baiter, dog. I feel those players who are foul baiters are lazy. He's looking to initiate contact to manipulate the refs to get on the free throw line.
James Harden.
Lazy. Look
how James Harden has a pot belly.
And here's the thing. I'm glad you mentioned James Harden because this is where you see race plays a role, right? Because Luka doesn't get the same slack, doing even worse. If you ask me, he does even worse from a partying standpoint, worse from a weight gaining standpoint. At least James Harden looks somewhat in shape when he's playing. Luka looks completely out of shape. And you know how you could tell when a guy as a basketball player looks completely out of shape? He has a double fucking chin. You shouldn't be having a double chin. Basketball players are supposed to be lean and mean. They're supposed to look clean on the basketball court.
He's like 24 years old, 25 years old.
You got a double fucking chin. What the fuck is going on at 25? Usually men don't get that shit into their 30s, 40s. Like, what the fuck?
I'm 42 years old. I don't even got that.
Yeah.
I'm 42. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Exactly.
And he's tall.
Yeah.
So you know how big he got to be? Because normally when you tall, it spreads out your weight, and you could stand and gain a lot of weight because you don't look as big as you are. Yeah. He's like 6'7", right? And he got a double chin. He's big. He got to be over 300 pounds.
This is why Joker is so dominant. Joker is like Larry Bird. Joker got the Larry Bird body. They don't have the muscle, but they come in fit. That's why Joker is so dominant. He's always fit. He's fit to play basketball. Yeah, you got a bad body.
He plays every possession.
And he plays every possession. Yeah, you know, some dudes, it's like my boy Ernie used to call it, ilky fucking body. Some dudes just got ilky bodies. They got bad bodies. But there's bad bodies, but they keep it fit. And then there's dudes that have bad bodies and they just don't keep the shit fit. And Luka, no, you got a bad body, man. Keep that shit fit. All that money the Lakers are paying you, are you fucking kidding me? They brought you in to be the future, and you can't just stay in fucking shape. He looks bigger now this year on Los Angeles than he's ever looked in his whole career. He looks bloated out there. He looks like Ross. He looks like you need to give him the Dios deodorant, bro. And he need to be on that shit for like at least a year straight.
Bro's bloated. He's bloated, man. But he probably drink vodka every night.
That's exactly. He's on that Sergey Kovalev diet. That's what he's on. To be honest.
Yeah. He probably drink vodka every night, man. Like, bro, you know what I'm saying? You drink alcohol every night, your organs are inflamed. Yes. You know what I mean? They're all swollen and puffy inside you, man. Like, bro, that's really his pancreas and his kidneys and everything. His small intestines all just puffed up because of alcohol.
Liver's all fucked up.
Yeah. But you know what's gonna happen? He's not taking care of his body. So once he starts getting them injuries for age, he's never gonna.
Well, he's gonna be done by 30.
He's not gonna last his prime.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Right. He's gonna be done by 30. By 30, he's gonna be done.
Yeah, he's gonna have a short prime.
Yeah, and here's the thing: Jeannie Buss, she low key did what her dad does, but she's doing it from a female nature, finesse style, right? The Buss family, the way that they work is they're always about out with the old, in with the new. Jeannie Buss is actually doing. I'm commending her because she's doing some. She's basically putting on the heels that these other men in the NBA have not put on their balls to do. She's aging LeBron James out. That move by getting Luka Doncic in was her basically telling LeBron, "You're too old. and we need to bank on the future. But she's not out saying it. You know, like if this was her dad would.
She banked on the wrong guy though.
Her dad would have been disrespectful, and her dad would have said it to LeBron's face, like he did with Shaq when he basically told Shaq, "You're just too fat. Kobe's young, so we're investing in the youth." When Jerry Buss came out, he just said it straight up. He didn't give a fuck. But Jeannie doesn't have Jerry Buss's touch. She has more of that finesse touch. So she's doing it by not saying anything. She just did it by the move. That's why LeBron James didn't even know about the move. It was basically like, look, we've already been in this league long enough. We got what we're going to get out of you. We got a title out of you. And if anybody knows anything about purple and gold is always thinking about the future. Whether good, bad, or the ugly, regardless of how they make their moves, they're always thinking about the future. So that I commend her for doing that, because it's the start of at least somebody stepping up and being like, look, we got to push this dude out the league. But she's doing it covertly.
Right. Yeah, man. I think she put her wrong. I think she put the eggs. I think she put her eggs in the wrong basket with Luka though. Because Luka's unathletic LeBron.
She did. But you know, like purple and gold do. They'll make a mistake for a few years and then they'll revamp. They're a sexy titty, a sexy town. They're right there with the Boston Celtics in terms of being prestigious. So if the Luka shit don't work out, Jeannie knows in 5 years from now she's gonna get another superstar down the road that's gonna show up and want to be part of the Lakers. Because didn't you just say Anthony Edwards' contract is gonna be up in 5 years? Don't be about that motherfucker become a Laker 5 years down the road. That's just how the Lakers roll. Like they'll fuck up, but you know they always gonna bounce back. The Celtics are like that too. They always gonna bounce back.
That's how they do. They always are looking for stars to replace. They got Luka. Luka gonna attract some people for some time. But I don't know if they're gonna win with them unless they put the right pieces around. Luka needs the absolutely right pieces around him for him to get to the finals.
You know what I love about the Lakers? Me and Ross, we've been Laker fans for a minute, so we know how that organization works. Once they realize that superstar is not gonna pan out, the Lakers start cutting ties. They don't give a fuck. They're cold with that shit. They gonna start cutting ties with Luka. Believe it. They just have him now so that they can keep the seats. They're smart. They're keeping the seats filled because they have him there, just so that they can keep everything popular. But once they realize he ain't it, they gonna get rid of that motherfucker, man. That's what they do.
Well, I tell you one thing: they don't have to pay him a supermax. They don't have to pay him $70 million because the Mavericks screwed Luka over. Because he got traded. When he got traded, he don't qualify for the supermax. Meaning the Lakers could get him at a discount. They could get him
made out good. They made out good.
They made out good. They
get a superstar level talent without having to pay him superstar level money. That's a good business deal. Like me.
That's why Luka probably hate that GM Nico Harrison. He cost that boy $1 million.
You know, now you're making me respect that Nico Harrison, because now it speaks to what Ross has been saying about Luka. Nico Harrison probably knew all these years this fat motherfucker never want to get in shape, so we're gonna treat you like the way you deserve to be treated. You don't want to go max level, then we're not gonna give you super max money, and we're gonna get rid of your ass. I don't blame him for this.
And then this how you know he has no motivation and he has no sense of urgency. Typically, when that happens to somebody, they do the things that they're supposed to do in the beginning, and I'm gonna show you like exactly. Shaq, right? Shaq made sure that he came in fat and out of shape because he knew Kobe was responsible, and Kobe was gonna hold things down until he got in shape. But he got traded because he was lazy. What do you do when he gets to the Heat? He comes to the training camp in shape, like he should have been doing with the Lakers. And he plays on both sides of the court, full effort. This dude don't have no sense of urgency. Shaq had a sense of urgency to know, well, I can't mail it in here because I don't have no say so here. I don't have any prestige here. I gotta work my way up. This guy goes to a new franchise, one of the most prestigious franchises in NBA history, and he's even worse in shape.
You remember years ago I said Luka was fat? We was on a live, me, you, and Richie Rich. I got so much flack, even from Louis Sports Network. Everybody was giving me flack. And it's so prophetic the way I look now by what I said, because I was like, yo, I don't know what people are so gung ho about this chubby motherfucker. This motherfucker is so fat. What the fuck? Like, why is everybody so gung ho about it? And look, now the whole media and the whole mainstream media is talking about how overweight he is. And I'm sitting there laughing because I was like saying this shit 7 years ago. If they would have got off their, you know, that what do they call that? We talked about that in sports. The Great White Hope. If they would have got off their Great White Hope shit and would have realized the shortcomings with this dude, because when he first came into the league, he was in shape. This dude was lean. The fuck happened to you? First 2 years you're lean, you look cut, and then out of nowhere you just blow the fuck up.
Because he went back to his old European ways. He did that to get into the league. He didn't want to be like that. But you got to understand, this is what they do. This is what ESPN does anyway. If a white player and a black player both guilty of the same thing, you will never hear anything about the white player. At that time, Zion was big and huge. So they talked about Zion 3-4 times a day, how big he was. Two of those segments could have been about Luka. But they're never gonna. If a black person and a white person get to the same thing, they're never gonna talk about the white person at all.
And then when they finally do, they wait so many years later to start doing it.
Right.
Because they did that to James Harden. They was doing that to Zion and James Harden, but they was acting like Luka was under the rug, even though Luka was way more guilty than them. Because at least them, they look somewhat fit. Luka just looked completely not fit at all.
Yeah, Luka's just he don't got any muscle definition at all.
None. And I'm gonna be honest with you, he's the reason why. This is the other reason why he cost them in that Celtics finals. One, for ball hogging against Kyrie Irving, and two, not being in shape. Like there was no
he couldn't guard nobody. He was a matador.
He couldn't guard his own shadow if his life depended on
it. Right. He was a matador. Ole, he was getting out the way. I said, bro, he got to be doing this on purpose. He not even trying to guard nobody. Everybody would have beaten him to the rack.
I wouldn't be surprised
like, bro, you can't
guard low-key was behind and pushing him out, man, of Dallas, because he cost Kyrie a ring, man. I'm being honest. Like, I respect the fact that the Celtics won or whatever, but I'm not sold that they were supposed to win that finals, bro. I'm not sold.
Nah, man. Jaylen Brown was getting to the rack so easy. He had so many wide open dunks and layups, and it didn't make any sense.
That was licking his chops. Every time Luka, he got Luka on the switch. That boy was licking his chops, boy. Like,
I don't think Jaylen Brown took one jump shot the whole finals. Everything was like he was smacking boards every play.
That was funny.
Yeah, he was doing
smacking boards to him.
Yeah. All of Luka's deficiencies. Now it's interesting. We talk about Luka and all of this, right? Now it's about getting on Adam Silver, right? Because the thing that I loved about David Stern was David Stern always knew how to transition from one guy to the next. David Stern was the master of knowing, okay, your time is done. I got to jump on a new wave here. Adam Silver, to me, just got an extension as an NBA commissioner, and I'm like, what has this guy done to deserve this bigger, heftier commission check that even David Stern wasn't even collecting? This guy's been lazy. He's been keeping LeBron James relevant in the NBA. We all know that as soon as a guy, this is how the NBA used to be. That was the standard. As soon as the last guy starts getting out of his prime, they start getting away from that dude, and then they start selling the new dude that's coming in. LeBron should have been talked about 10 years ago. So why are they holding on to this guy? This guy literally has grays all over his fucking hair, bald like a motherfucker. No matter how much hair treatment he tries to use, the PEDs have already taken their toll. And on top of that, let's be honest, Father Time has proven that PEDs still can't outbeat Father Time, because look what you just say, Richie Rich. He don't have the stamina to withlast. So it don't matter how much he's abusing his body through PEDs. Father Time is telling him, you're too old. You need to get out the damn game. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, why are you holding on to this guy that you clearly can see he's all grayed up? He looks like a little grandpa out there. when you got a bunch of names. This is the first time in the NBA that you have a wealth of youthful talent that, as the commissioner, because this is what the NBA commissioner's job is supposed to be. They're supposed to be marketing the new guy. That's what the NBA was always about, pushing the new guy down your throat. You have all of these players that you can push down people's throat, but you're keeping it LeBron. And this is the thing that I hate with LeBron James fans, man. Just like LeBron James, they lack accountability. And what I mean by that is they don't want to point the obvious. LeBron has not surpassed Jordan. He has not surpassed Kobe. And it doesn't matter what he does. And we all know once he retires, 7 days afterwards, he's going to be forgotten. So it doesn't matter what he does. And to be honest with you, the longer he stays, the worse it's going to look on his NBA resume. So I don't know what is he doing. And the other caveat to this is the Lakers and other NBA organizations are only putting up with Bronny James because LeBron is there. When LeBron is gone, they're going to get rid of his fucking son, man. Let's just be honest about this shit.
Bro,
I don't know if you watched that game against Minnesota when they put the garbage time players in, and his son came in, bro. Like his son took like two shots. I think he airballed both of them, man. I'm like, man, it's crazy, bro. Wide open shots, like garbage time. I mean, you could get your points up, get your stats up, buddy. Right. But this dude, man, I don't get it. Like, what did LeBron do to this game, man? With this whole situation with his son, man. Like, he made the game a mockery, getting his son in the NBA while another somebody else that should have earned that spot is supposed to be in that place. What people don't
realize is the problem is it's not the physical. Because when he's not on the NBA floor, because they don't even be guarding his son half the time. He be wide open, still be missing. It's all up here. He has his father's mentality. His other son might be cold. He might have his mom's mentality. He might be aggressive. Mm-hmm. He has his dad's mentality. LeBron's limitations is up here. It's up here. When the Lakers are up 10, he can't miss.
Facts.
When they need a score and when the spotlight's on him, he can't hit anything. It's all up here. It's all up here. But I'm saying this right now. LeBron James is doing more hurt to his own career than he's even doing to the league. Four championships in 20 years, nigga, I could divide.
you hit him with that Jay-Z, boy. You hit him with that takeover.
He did an interview on that channel a few years ago. It appears on channel on CBS. You know that show. It's been on for a long time. It starts off with that clock. You know what I'm talking about? 60 minutes. Bomb. And he was talking about this interview was done. It was while he still was in Cleveland. And the second stint when he was in Cleveland, when he went back to Cleveland, and he did this interview, and he was talking about his time when he gets close to him having to leave the game, and he was saying that he doesn't feel that he's gonna want to leave. Like, and I was like, man, this dude is gonna try to play until past 40, bro. Like, he's not gonna want to leave the game because he wants the attention. He wants to be loved, revered. He wants people to have the attention on him. That's his problem. Like, he can't leave the game because he feels that, just like you said, once he leaves, people are gonna forget him. He doesn't want that to happen. Like, he's delusional. He's like, he has his delusions, man. Like, he just don't want to leave because he don't want to have to deal with that outcome. That people got to move on from him. That's his whole situation.
He knows he hasn't done enough to leave and be considered the greatest of all time, but yet he's spoken and said, "Yeah, when I beat the Warriors, I knew I was the greatest of all time."
Yeah.
As if Kyrie wasn't the real reason why they won those games. If I
Exactly.
I knew
Oh man.
I was the greatest of all time. Bro, if he didn't say that, he would be looked at more favorably. Now he's looked at as someone who needs to do X, Y, and Z to be in that conversation because you try to force himself into a conversation he didn't belong in. So he's gonna they're trying this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep LeBron long enough so he could go out as a champion. And they could force a LeBron's better than Michael Jordan, better than Kobe narrative. And they could say, oh, it's legit now because he has 5. Kobe got 5, so we know he's better than Kobe. They're trying to do that. But the reason why LeBron James really still around is because, let's be honest, they try to replace LeBron James.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons was supposed to be LeBron James' replacement. Well, Ben Simmons he don't even want to play basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
He don't even want to play basketball because he can't play the way because nobody in the league wants to let him play the way he wants to play. Ben Simmons doesn't want the accountability for anything. As soon as he gets the ball, he's passing. He don't want to shoot.
But look who he looked up to. Look who he looked up to. That's why he didn't last long. When your mentor is LeBron James, you're gonna be as weak as him. If not, let's be honest.
Yeah, but that's the reason why he got that shot. But I'm trying to tell y'all, they don't want that mentality in the league. They want a weak mentality in the league. And they want to attract those guys. Those guys are easy to do it. They're easy to negotiate with. They're easy to get sign off on things that are detrimental to the black community. You know how many magazine covers LeBron been in that are been straight sellout magazine covers where he's making a buffoon out of himself? You can get these guys to wear dresses and go to all these secret parties and hug with all let these billionaires sit on their laps. These guys, for the most part, are easily controlled. They want those guys. They want those guys. You notice the more outspoken, the more masculine guys, they don't get the opportunities that Kyrie's not getting those opportunities that Steph Curry is getting. Steph Curry's getting those opportunities. Why? Because Steph Curry's a cold cuckold.
Yeah.
He's weak. He's not a real man. He can play basketball, and nobody but he's not a real man. They're not really giving these guys these opportunities because they're really men. They're giving them opportunities because they're playing ball, not the ball on the court.
He'll kill you softly, man.
Right.
The Fuji song, killing me softly.
They're playing ball metaphorically off the court as well by doing exactly what they're told. So, Ben Simmons, he was supposed to be the one but
you saw how Kobe did something. Your shot. I love the fact that Kobe was able to say that before he left about Ben Simmons. Your shot is broke. Bring your ass over here so I can fix it.
Yeah.
Woo! And Ben Simmons went on a viral. This is why you could see guys that look up LeBron James, they have the LeBron James mentality. Instead of accepting the fact that his shit was fucked up, he goes and rants. He has the problem with these old guys. That's a typical LeBron move right there. You could have just said, you know what, my shot is fucking broke.
Yeah.
That's why, and Kobe was right. Kobe looked
pathetic because 27%. What are you talking about? Fucking suck. Bro, he's one of the trashiest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, Ben Simmons, when Joel Embiid criticized him and why he wasn't assertive that year when they went to the what was it, the second round, they lost to Atlanta that year.
Them two were so long, so oversized. They were supposed to kill teams with just the way that they played. They were supposed to look like a brand new age version of Magic and Kareem, man. They were supposed to be killing teams left and right.
Magic's not scared. Magic's not scared to shoot the basketball.
Exactly.
Magic understands basketball at its highest levels, which is whether you can shoot the ball or not. When the ball rotates your way and you have an open shot, you got to take that shot.
You take it.
You got to take that shot, or else you're stopping the rotation. You get then the defense get back set. You have to take those open shots, man. whether you hit them or not. And when you shoot them, you got to at least hit the rim. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to take those shots because you got to give your teammates a chance to rebound the ball.
Facts.
You're wide open, so you're the one to shoot. So it'll behoove you to be a professional and shoot on the off season. Maybe you get paid millions of dollars to do so.
Exactly. Work on your fucking game.
Work on your game, man. And when a legend calls you out, say, you know what, touche. All right, you're right. I'm not gonna work out with you because you embarrass me if you're that prideful. But I'm gonna work out on my own. I'm gonna shoot 1,000 free throws. They start at the free throw line. You get good at shooting free throws. Next, you know your mid-range game is gonna get better. You get good at shooting your mid-range. You can start stepping out a little more. But
Kobe has a personality trait. I've struggled with it, and you and Richie, you guys are fluid with it. I could say over the years, you guys know, as I've gotten older, I've probably gotten better with it. I still struggle with it with time to time, but you guys are like good at it, and that's humility, man. Kobe is so fucking humble that Kobe was able to work up on the Hakeem Olajuwon. He felt his footwork still wasn't all the way, that he went there and worked with Hakeem Olajuwon just to get that shit better. And if Kobe could do some shit like that, and we're talking about Kobe's game was already so fucking refined. If he could do that, who the fuck are you, Ben Simmons, that you can't do that with him? Like, come on. Like, that's crazy. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the reason why he was able to win a title is because he went and saw Hakeem, dog. He went and saw Hakeem that year. When he said, my game is only 80%, he needed a 20. He went and saw Kareem that offseason. We saw what happened. That next year, that motherfucker won the NBA Finals. He got that footwork down. Like, humble yourself, man.
Put a team on his back.
LeBron James work with Hakeem Olajuwon, and this is how you can tell LeBron ain't shit. He quits halfway into the footwork. And Hakeem even said it. Hakeem said, man, this guy
it was too hard.
It was supposed to be 2 weeks. He showed up for 4 days, and after 4 days, he was gone. You know, old school guys, they gonna tell it how it is. He said he showed up for 4 days.
He wasn't naturally good. He wasn't naturally good at it, so he quit.
Ben Simmons is one of those players. He went to the NBA for the lifestyle, man. He was never serious about being one of the best players in the game. You know, never serious about wanting to have the competitive spirit to want to win. You know, that's his whole MO was because when he was playing for LSU. You saw how sketchy his thing was, where he got he got disqualified for playing. Like, there's just a whole bunch of sketchy stuff going around with him. And you saw, like, when he played, when things didn't go well in those games, man, he had like a quit. I watched some of those games when he was still in college playing that 1 year for LSU. When things didn't go well, like, the dude would have like he would quit. He would basically like quit on the team, man. Stupid, dumb-headed things to like get himself benched and, you know, not worried. Like, I'm like, this dude is one of the top draft picks going into the NBA. It can't be true. When you actually watch them play, you like, this dude is not top draft pick material. He's not.
Like I said, a lot of that goes into how the white man feel about you, man. They'll overlook a lot of inconsistencies if you make them feel superior than you. If you make them feel superior than you, they'll overlook a lot of inconsistencies in your work ethic and your level of expertise and all that. If as long as they're around you, you laugh at things that ain't funny. You scratch them with nothing itch and you step in the fashion and you yes sir, yes ma'am. You acting like that, you're gonna get opportunities you don't deserve.
20 years doing it. I did that shit for 8 years. This is how you can tell I was so annoyed. I could only put it up. That's why I said Ross's level of patience is way better than mine. I could only put up with that bullshit for 8 years. The fact that you put up with it for 20 and still massaged it in your own favor, man. Dog, that's commendable, man. Because I can only put up with that shit for 8.
Yeah,
shit,
man.
I was out there fighting, motherfuckers. Out there, man. My captain telling me get out the damn car. I'm wrestling and body slamming motherfuckers and people way higher ranked than me. I'm like, man, fuck you. And they like, fuck you too. I don't give a fuck, man. Fuck you.
Right. I was working towards the long game, man. I'm trying to set myself up for the future.
Salute
you know what I'm saying?
for that, man.
Yeah.
Salute, bro.
Appreciate
That's why I have the ultimate respect for you, man.
Yeah.
You can put up with that shit for 20. Come on, man. That goes without saying. That goes. It just shows the strength of the mind that you have to endure with that, man. Like people just don't understand, and it's day now that you got to deal with that. And then on top of that, on any given day, you don't know what kind of fucking attitude the motherfucker's gonna come in. Here's the thing that tripped me out with the service: 70 to 80%. The statistic, I'm sure it's even higher now, but 70 to 80% on me and Ross was in this shit was predominantly people that look like us, but it's run by the other 20 to 30, which always threw me off because we're the ones doing most of the heavyweight lifting. We're the ones all of the greatest wars that have been fought, all of the greatest times that have been monumental in the history of the U.S. It's because of us, man. Like we didn't do what we did, we wouldn't be the superpower that we are now. Obviously, we don't get the credit for it. Obviously, they don't put our namesake in front of it. They put the namesake of these other motherfuckers because they're representing higher positions and higher ranking. But the last 5 years, Ross was carrying a superior who thought he knew more than Ross, but Ross was literally carrying him because he would always go back to Ross for final suggestions on how to do his job. And you know what? And this is how you can tell. Ross think, man, listen, I listen to our powerhouse to the T. I'm about to make him proud with it. At the end, he said, right when he was getting ready to come out, the dude came up to him and apologized. And the dude admitted at the end, like, man, you know, you didn't do what you did. I could have been fired, out of my position. If I didn't go what you were telling me and then taking the credit for it, not giving you the credit for it, and acting like I was the one that did it, I would have been screwed. So it's like he wanted to become Ross's friend because he remembered how Ross carried those last 5 years. Now, mind you, he's giving Ross hell, but behind closed doors, he's taking all of the credit. And then God makes him come to Ross right when Ross is leaving, as if it's like if Ross is leaving, it's like he's losing him. And he goes on this apology tour and admittance tour. And for Ross to have like the bigger head and be like, you know what? Look, what's done is done. I'm above that. Everything was supposed to work out the way it was supposed to work, and just move forward. That was huge. That was crazy. But you know, I had it's similar like that because I had an NCO
class, man.
Yeah, I had an NCO that was always taking credit for all the shit I did, and the captain low key saw that. He didn't say nothing, but he low key was laughing his ass off, like, you know, Abe, I see that you the one really doing it, but he's coming back to me, pumping his chest, making it seem like he's the one that's doing it. He's like, you really are like the E7. You know what I'm saying? You're like moving everything like the E7. Like you're really good with numbers. You're really good with the books. Because I was one like always doing cert, but at the same time, I was also running the arms room and I was accounting for their budget going into war and stuff like that. So I was doing all of these things, and I wasn't even saying nothing. And this dude will try to keep me later. And every time, hey man, I need you to crunching these numbers for me real quick. And I saw what he was doing. I was like, this, you know, I call those the Oreo black dudes. You know, they kiss up in front of, but that's the terms we used to use back in the day. They kiss up in front of white man, but then when they're around you, they try to act like, you know, they in the trench. So he'd be like, man, I need you to do this for me. Then he'll go around and he act like I didn't see the shit. He'd be like, yeah, it was me, you know, and I got that soldier right. I got that soldier on his bootstraps. And I would just low-key smirk. And he'd be always tell me, why are you smirking? And, all right, this is what I used to always tell him. Okay, now let's cut the act. This motherfucker's not around. You know exactly what the fuck you doing. You taking credit for the shit that I'm taking credit for. Oh, soldier, I'll smoke you right now. You how dare you talk to me like I said, motherfucker, ain't nobody around. It's me and you We both got nuts. We both take a shit. We shit in the damn toilet. So if you want to squabble, we could squabble right now. I used to talk shit to him like that because nobody was around. You know, of course, one of the high-ranking people around. You know, Ross, you know how we play along, we get along. You know, you got to act a certain way. So when motherfuckers get around, I know how to switch back up and be like, okay, yes, Sarge. But when nobody's around, motherfucker, I'll fuck your ass up, man. You ain't shit, motherfucker. How the fuck you taking my credit? So that built up. So when we finally got to Iraq, he was like, you bitch asshole, to get out the fucking car. I'm gonna fuck you up. Blah, blah, blah. He thought I wasn't gonna say nothing. This is right when rounds is firing and everything. Right, 2003 Iraqi Operation Iraqi Enduring Freedom. I'm like, motherfucker shooting and shit. We probably could fucking die, man. 50 cal through the head, all kinds of shit. And you talking about fight? Like, you know what? I'm tired of shit. I'm taking my Kevlar off. If I get killed right here, I'm fucking your ass up right now. Get your fat ass out the damn car. And the captain was like, all right, here's a timer. Y'all gonna go at it. It was like that old school shit. Y'all gonna go at this. But after y'all fight, y'all gonna have to make up. I'm gonna let y'all go at it. But after this one, y'all gonna have to kiss and make up. And that's exactly what happened. We rolled on the floor. I ain't gonna lie, for old motherfucker, that motherfucker can go. We rolled on the floor for about an hour, man. I walked that fight. That was probably the hardest fight of my life. I walked ribs. He walked out of that fight with a fucking ring over his fucking eye. Like, and then we just kissed and made up. We became like best friends after that.
Yeah, you had to get that off your chest.
You know what? I'm tired. Yeah. He was basically, the captain was like, I'm tired of both of y'all. Squabble this shit out. And y'all gonna kiss and make. And if y'all don't kiss and make up, I'm Article 15 in both of y'all. I'm kicking both of y'all. Yeah. So he let us go. And we went at it, man. We fucking went at it. It was never talked about. It was between the three of us. Nobody ever just knew. When we came back, we looked rough the fuck up. We looked beat the fuck up. And everybody kept asking us what was going on. It was like, man, we just had a rough day out there. That's it.
Right. I ain't gonna lie, man. Those are some of the best days in the military, man. Yep. When you get to, squabble up and, finally get your hands on somebody that you don't really like, and, and nothing gonna happen or nothing does happen, you get away with it, you be somebody else, man. Man, I can truly say, man, I'm undefeated, man. I'm undefeated. I'm telling no, and I'm telling no military service, man. You know what I'm saying? Military service.
Yeah, you got those hands. I ain't gonna lie, that motherfucker was heavy-handed. So he got me in the ribs a few times. That shit hurt, boy. But I got him. I took my thigh, I put him in that fucking chokehold. Almost passed him the fuck out. I was always good at. Richie Rich know that I'm always good at choking motherfuckers out. Sometimes I get possessed with that shit. I black out. I damn near almost choked. The captain had to slap me across the. Hey man, you can't kill him.
No, you can't kill him.
Y'all still going at it. So yeah, back into. Y'all got to still squabble. Like you can't pull motherfucker out. We about 30 minutes, and we kept going. I felt like through that squabble, I was earning for him to see how long he was able to. And he was earning respect for me. It's crazy how in a fighting tells you a lot about a person, right? Like they're resilient. Through the fight, we was respecting each other because none of us wanted to give out. None of us wanted to give up. Like it was like first man to fall, whatever, but none of us fell. So we both left the fight huffing and puffing. And I was like, I think you cracked a few of my ribs. He was like, soldier, now I gotta start putting makeup over my eyes, put rings over my eyes. You know what I'm saying? Because I did hit him with a good fucking shot across the eye. I thought that shit made him go blind or whatever because the eye was like squirting or whatever. But he had a big old fucking black ring over his eye or whatever. It was just a good shot. And then we just came back. And me, I'm not a hands guy, but it was just one of those moments where I was proud of I was able to throw at least some hand at him, right? But he was too big to pick up and get those slams the way I wanted to. So I had to like adjust the fighting style where I had to keep it like basically tire him out, you know what I'm saying? Do some ground game to tire him out to where I had my weight on him. That's how I was doing it. Didn't really like pick him up the way I wanted to because he was just solid. He's got that old school fighting style where he's solid, and if you run up on him, you're gonna get hurt. And that's what happened. Every time I ran up on him, my ribs was feeling that shit, bro. Like he was just, and then he would do those little choppy hits where once you like tussling with each other, he'll get a few in the gut. So he was just that shit. So it was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But we both left that shit. I remember we went back, and this is when we had one dude that he was like a scientist. He took different alcohols, bases, and he made it into a moonshine. He basically turned it into liquor. That's how scientific he was. So we had our low-key little alcohol that we was drinking while we was all chilling, you know what I'm saying? And here we are out there hearing guns blazing, gun firing, and everything. He was like, y'all need a shot, man. It was like, hey, so he was like, yeah, today we made like, I made like a little vodka infused concoction. So y'all, both of y'all need a shot. And that's what we did, man. We ate, we went to the chow hall, we ate, we drank that. And then he said, you know what? I hate you so much to the point where I love you. I told him the same shit, man. And then from there, we became best of friends. I remember I dated his daughter for a little bit. He invited me to his crib. This is type of shit that was not what we was doing beforehand, but we ended up doing it. Yeah, we about to get off pretty soon. But it was just crazy how it ended up being that, you know what I'm saying? And that's not what I thought it was going to be. But over there, I had leverage on these guys. I told Richie Rich this, but I'm telling you this, Ross, and I'm into this. None of these motherfuckers could fuck with me, majors, generals, because the thing about them is they would be ordering other soldiers around. They could never order me around the way they wanted to because I knew where the bodies were buried. I knew who they was fucking. And this is what I used to hold over them. I know it was fucked up, but it was kind of my way to tell you, you ain't gonna just boss me around. I'm like, motherfucker, I know your wife with over here, so you fuck with me, shit going back. I would be recording shit. You fuck with me, this shit going back. So they leave me the fuck alone. Everybody always wondering, what the fuck is going on with this soldier? Why they don't boss him? Yeah, because I got leverage on these motherfuckers, man. I was too slick out there, man. Fuck with me, bro.
To make it in the military, you gotta have, you're playing politics. You gotta have certain leverage or put yourself in a position where you're so needed that they can't just discard you like they do everybody else. Got to, man. I made myself so vital to wherever command I was at. I made myself so vital to the mission that they just had to deal with me. So, if I didn't agree with something the officer said, I could look at them and be like, that don't make sense. We ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? Not in front of junior personnel, but behind closed doors, that don't make sense. Because of this. Now, most black motherfuckers be like, okay, sir, knowing that what he's telling you to do is counterproductive, but in the productive meeting, I'm like, nah, we do that, that's gonna add 3 more weeks worth of work down the line. We ain't doing that. Like, excuse me, Pastor Ross. So like, we're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? But when you tell someone you're not doing something, you're supposed to have a plan, a better course of action. Like, and you're supposed to tell them why. Like, we ain't doing that because this, and this. We're gonna do this because this makes more sense, more efficient. And then they don't like it because you're a black man telling them what you're not gonna do, but they gotta accept it.
That's why I wish I had a like you. Because if I did, there would never be none of this. I got to be slick. None of that. I would actually respect it because your style is a style that you would respect because it's coming from, hey, we got to bust our ass trying to have this ulterior motive where you're trying to take credit for this and that. If anything, you're trying to uplift your own people so that they can be their best. So that's the type of person you go crazy for, you work hard for, but anybody else, most of these people, they just always on some malicious, undermining, or they can move up because they bought into the conquering divide, so they can move up and shoot you down at the same time too. When we all are trying to move up, we all are trying to get to a certain place. That was the part of it that I could not stand, man.
People who are inadequate at what they do, they have to resort to those lows of trying to. They have to resort to those low class efforts because they're not resident experts at what they do. When you're an expert at what you do, you don't got to do all that. They might throw a glass ceiling on you, but when your resume is read, it'll be more so like You know how Isaiah Thomas said, I met the requirements, I just wasn't selected. It'll be more so like that. It wouldn't be you didn't deserve it. It'll be for whatever political reasons they wasn't fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? But you would meet
I'm glad you mentioned that, because saying to that, Isaiah Thomas went on a recent rant with LeBron James, and he was like, "Come on, man, why the fuck you on national TV and you doing shootouts and you got your chest all the fuck out, shirt off? Like, where's the decorum? Where's the sportsman? Like, right. Guys got to understand this is a professional TV situation where kids are looking at you, whatever. Nobody wants to see your chest out. No one wants to see you basically half naked doing shoot around. You know, the LeBron fans came after Isaiah Thomas for pointing out the obvious.
Why? Well, people don't realize that there's a lot of low key homoerotic people, men. They really have crushes on these guys that they're fans of. They don't just like them. Like we like Michael Jordan. We didn't have fantasies about him sexually. We liked him. You know what I'm saying? You could tell the difference between an ugly mug and a hand. We could be to say he's handsome is not gay, but to defend somebody tooth and nail, no matter what they do, is showing suspect. Yeah. You can't ever call this guy out for anything he does. Do you worship him? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on, bro? Like, suspect. And why, as a man, are you defending him being half naked on TV? Why? You get mad because you might not see it again?
Interesting you said that. Interesting you said that, because Brian Windhorst, right? LeBron James left nut, and Richie Rich, I know you've been waiting on this one because this is the last topic here. Brian Windhorst, LeBron James goes on Pat's show, and he goes on a tirade recently on everyone. You would think that the guys that have been supporting his career, pushing his career, Brian Windhorst has been his left nut. He even goes on that against that guy. He calls that guy weird. And I'm sitting there scratching my head. Me and Ross were talking about this last night. I'm sitting here scratching my head like, why, LeBron James? Why would you go against the very people that have been supporting you from day one? The way you came in is the way you're supposed to stay. That's the way it works. From a political as a villain, so he stayed a villain. Jordan came in understanding I need to be PC, and he stayed PC. You came in kissing ass, and now all of a sudden you have no more. Where the fuck they do that? And that's why I'm not gonna be surprised when these ED allegations and all this guys like Brian Windhorst that's been supporting him, they waiting to turn on his ass, and when they get him, boy, they gonna get him.
I'm telling you, LeBron, man, he done switched up on these dudes, bro. Like Brian Horst, all that butt kissing he was doing on LeBron, following him from a teenager when he was playing at that what was it, Mount Vernon, up until Cleveland, then to Miami. That dude been following LeBron all throughout to get dissed like a side piece. He act like he didn't even mess with when he got caught up. That's how LeBron did him. He everybody knew that was a side piece, but LeBron still denied him. That's how he got caught. And they were coming at him like, bro, we feel sorry for you, man. That LeBron did you like that. I remember that. I remember watching that when Stephen A. Smith told Brian Windhorst, man, hey man, sorry that LeBron did you like that. Like, yeah, he called Buddy weird, man. Like, he went after Stephen A. Smith. He tried to embarrass Stephen A. Smith and in the public. Like, Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith said he remained quiet because his boss was there. The boss of the network was there. So he can't engage in that with LeBron. He's not stupid, because his boss is gonna be like, man, that's unprofessional, bro. We probably gotta suspend you. Like, Stephen A. Smith ain't stupid. I know if it was behind, if it was not in front of a camera, Stephen A. Smith is not no punk, man. He would say something.
Right.
Because I remember back in those days
Right.
when he used to have Kobe on or AI on his shows. That dude don't look like no punk to me. He's just a dude that's not, stupid. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to let LeBron James entice him into doing something, making a bad decision. I know what LeBron was trying to do. LeBron was trying to get this brother fired or suspended by making him act the way where he was going to act out of character, and that he was not falling for that. You feel me? So LeBron ended up looking stupid.
As a man, that's a conversation that should have been had behind closed doors. You try to make a spectacle out this man, and he ain't bite. So it looked like you checked him, but you're 2 times his size. What is he supposed to do, really? You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to try to wrestle you. He's supposed to swing on you. He's a grown man. He's 50-some years old.
Exactly.
What brownie points did you get for getting aggressive with somebody that small and that frail and old like that? But I'm gonna show you, LeBron's a coward, man. But at the end of the day, that's equivalent to Michael Jordan dissing Ahmad Rashad.
Yeah.
Y'all know that, right?
Yeah.
How you dissing the person that helped build you? How you doing it? Like, bro, Nick Wright used your name to get popular, and after you got popular, he stopped really talking about you. Now he jumped on the Mahomes bandwagon and went crazy. And he jumped on the anti MJ and the anti Kobe tirade, and said, "All right, I got famous off you. I'm good." Winhurst has been loyal to you from the beginning to now. You do bro like that. Come on, everybody know he's a weird bro. He's everybody knows something off about him, but still, you're supposed to have his back. But that goes to show you, man. We're dealing with somebody who only cares about himself.
To the T. And, we gotta touch on Rich Paul. This man is flagrant, bro. He called Miami Heat a big 2. He basically took a dump on Chris Bosh. That's what he said.
Chris Bosh had the best field goal percentage out of all of them.
He's the X factor.
Every time he got the ball, it was cash.
Listen, you know where all this is coming from, dog. Rich Paul is just a mouthpiece for LeBron. That's how LeBron feels too. But he's not gonna go out and say that. He's gonna let Rich Paul go out and say all these foul, flagrant things, man.
The first championship they lost, they didn't lose because of Chris Bosh. They lost because of Bron.
Yeah, Wade and Bosh showed up.
When they lost in the finals, it wasn't just him. It was because of Bron. The reason why he's saying that is because he knows he can't say that about D Wade because D Wade gonna stand up for him.
If you talk to one,
Chris Bosh, I don't care. Chris Bosh don't go back and forth.
He don't
listen.
Like man,
these clutch dudes, they like to play narratives, dog. They it's like LeBron think he Thanos, dog. He got all the rings. He got all the stones, man, and he done snapped that 2011 series away. People done forgot it. That this dude done made people forget that he had to run away. When Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett say they broke LeBron, them boys ain't lying. They said that when they said it, they made that man run away, run out of Cleveland, and go team up with D Wade and Chris Bosh. And it took that core to beat that old Boston team.
Right. Cause let's be honest. I love Kobe to death, but they didn't stop Kobe from doing nothing. They teamed up probably half for Kobe. They teamed up mostly because they couldn't beat the Celtics. Let's be for real, man. Now one of them couldn't beat the Celtics, man. And LeBron couldn't beat the Celtics or Orlando. Let's get to that. He can't even get past Orlando. Dwight was beasting on LeBron.
Rashard Lewis and Hito Turkoglu was hitting them clutch daggers.
Yep.
And people think just because Dwight Howard's a center, he's not that much bigger than LeBron James. People don't understand that. LeBron James, if he was a defender they say he was, he should be able to guard Dwight Howard. Couldn't do it. Now one of them couldn't do it. Dwight Howard's grabbing like 20 boards a game. You know how disrespectful that is? Man, all his points was put back
Dwight was a beast before that back injury, man. He was a beast before that back injury.
Yep.
If he didn't injure his back and he went to LA without that back injury, man, him and Kobe would have been formidable. They would have went to the finals that year with Gasol and a healthy Dwight. Yeah. I think the back injury messed that team up, and Steve Nash got hurt, and Paul Gasol was hurt, and then Dwight had the back injury, and then Kobe tore his Achilles by trying to do too much throughout the season. And that team they was
hurt. They was hurt.
Yeah, they were doomed from the start.
I believe. What's his name? Jim Buss, his son. I believe his goal was to run Kobe into the ground. I don't think he much liked Kobe. I don't think he agreed. I don't think he agreed with Shaq leaving and Kobe staying. So as soon as he came in, he started making very dumb decisions. They brought Mike Brown in, and Mike Brown implemented the Princeton offense. In that Princeton offense, Kobe was getting some of the easiest shots in his career. I never seen Kobe get so many wide open layups. He was shooting 65% in that Princeton offense. They got rid of Mike Brown so damn fast, and they wouldn't have brought in Dan Antonio that had Kobe playing damn near the whole game, every game, run up and down the court. Why would you bring in a guy that's
34 years old?
Neither one of these guys are right. Neither one of these guys are proven in the finals. Neither one of them never won. Yep. So why would you bring in a guy who has an offense that you know is going to wear down your star player? That don't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
And you're playing them all game. Nah. They did that on purpose to run Kobe to the ground so he couldn't win no more championships.
Yeah, that's all that was.
Yeah,
that's all that was. Because the Andrew Bynum experiment didn't work, and they then was like, all right, fuck it, we're just gonna try to run Kobe into the ground. But I'm gonna tell you right now, Kobe was able to clean up LeBron James's mess. He cleaned it up with Orlando, cleaned it up with Boston. This is how you know, in those puppy years 9 and 10, if they would have faced off, I'm being honest, man, Kobe would have had an easier time playing against those LeBron teams than he did when he played against Orlando and Celtics. It would have been easier.
He would have swept, man.
Like he would have been embarrassed.
Kobe was unstoppable. The thing about it is, they ain't never want Kobe and Bron to get to the finals at the same time. Because Kobe wins those finals against LeBron, it's like in the WWE, in WWF, if an old dog beats a John Cena. John Cena gotta win because he's a face right now, and nobody else is at that level to replace him and go higher. So that's why John Cena got so many championships right now. The other stars are not believable. He gotta win. He can't get there and lose.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So they knew LeBron wasn't ready. So LeBron didn't get there. Let's be honest, man.
And LeBron is fortunate, like you said, he's fortunate. His team never went to the finals to match up against the Lakers.
They didn't want that, man. You gotta understand. This right here would have nullified. This would have nullified LeBron fans forever because they would have to now talk about what Kobe did to him in those finals, and that would have put Kobe forever over him. That's why they didn't allow that, because now you see how they disrespect Kobe and they say LeBron's over Kobe and all that when we know that's not true. Those finals would have forced the hand where it would have been Jordan and go over him because everybody would have just went to the finals. That's it. It's kind of like Floyd. How with Floyd, you go with Manny Pacquiao and Canelo, you just mentioned Floyd fighting both of them, and then you shut down. Everybody shuts down. That's what it would have been, that. But yeah, man, this has been real. This has been a great live. We covered all the topics that we were supposed to cover. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Nah, I'm through.
Okay, y'all tapped out, man.
We should continue future lives as the playoffs continue to play out, because I'm pretty sure it's going to get interesting as these games continue to go on.
All right, so I'm gonna hit both of y'all up, and we'll try to do something in the next.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
You guys have a good one.
You
All
too.
right. Peace.